Find a support system that you trust, that you can wholeheartedly lean on, and then don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to just go for it and pursue it. Don't let anybody tell you that as a woman you can't do this, as a mother you can't
You
do that.
can't
Why
do
can't you?
this. Why
You
can't
can
you?
do
You
it.
can't. You
One, if
can't.
it's your all and this is what you want, I think we should pursue the life that we want instead of having life just happen to us. So be intentional
Right.
about it and have it all. Put the measures in place, be strategic, plan, and you get what you want.
Wow. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Dairy Mom podcast. My name is Diana Addae. I am the founder of the Dairy Mom. We inspire, educate, and empower mothers who may be struggling to reclaim their dreams or who may have temporarily set aside their ambitions due to the demands of motherhood. On the Dairy Mom podcast, we bring you powerful stories from audacious mothers around the world who defy societal expectations and harness their strength to juggle both roles of motherhood and the pursuit of their personal and professional ambitions successfully. In this week's episode, episode 4, we bring you a part 2 of our first story from episode 3 on navigating motherhood, career, and sickle cell. We'll continue our conversation with our special guest, Dr. Vanessa Morgan Nai. Dr. Nai is an experienced higher education professional based in Ohio, USA, with a passion for diversity, inclusion, and student success. She serves as the Assistant Director of Diversity for Belonging and Engagement in the Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine at Ohio University. She has experience in teaching, student advising, multicultural programming, and event management. Dr. Vanessa holds a Doctor of Philosophy and 2 master's degrees from Ohio University in the United States, along with a bachelor's degree in French from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Ghana, West Africa. Fluent in English, French, and 3 Ghanaian languages, she is also a dedicated advocate for sickle cell awareness through her blog, where she shares personal insights and educational resources. She's a wife and a mother of 2 children. If you're ready for a part 2 of the conversation, grab your pens and notebooks and join me as I speak to our special guest. Dr. Vanessa, I think you shared a very interesting part of your story with us, and I'm particularly fascinated about how you managed to stay disciplined, and you proactively planned that. Okay, I'm going to dedicate 1 hour every day to my studies, because I know that when baby number 2 comes in, it's going to be very challenging for me to to be feeding that baby, changing diapers and still writing my thesis. That's going to be difficult. So how did you manage to stay focused and stay disciplined and stay committed to that 1 hour a day policy that you set for yourself?
I think for at that time I would say that I'd become very tired. Like it's been a long journey and I was ready for it to be over. Right. So and I could also see the end. Like I could see the end goal. I could see like I was imagining, okay, when this is done, I could imagine all the freedom that would come with it.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, okay, Vanessa, you have to be done with this.
Okay.
You have to make sure that this phase of your life ends. You've worked hard, it's okay, let's
It's okay.
finish it. Right. So I said to myself, let's and I couldn't do it after work, or I couldn't give more of what I didn't have, right? Because when I
Right.
come back from work at 5 p.m., or maybe even later, if I had an event or program that ended at 8, I had to come back and be a mother to my child, or my child. I was also pregnant at that time. So going through that pregnancy and the different emotions, and also be a wife, I also have to
Exactly.
be my husband too, right? So I told myself, like, what can you give? I could give morning. So I said 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's the time I can give. I can
Okay.
wake up, and I'm a morning person.
Okay.
So I would wake up early, get my own devotion and stuff done. When I'm done with that, 5 to 6, if I'm writing, I'm reading literature, I'm analyzing, those were the hours in which I would do it. 5 a.m., 6 a.m. When at 6 a.m., I start getting ready for work because I have to be there by 8. I come and do all I have to do, and then the cycle begins. So it was just giving little of myself each day,
Okay.
dedicated to that, and just being consistent. So
Okay.
every day, and if I took a break for too long, I could see that I was like, I'm slowing down. So I needed to, and then I was like, my baby too is coming in December. So so let's say we are doing a race. Which will come first? The dissertation of the baby, and I wanted the dissertation to be done first. So I was like, this has to be consistent. I'm running out of time. I'm feeling the pregnancy vibes. The baby wants to come very soon, so I have to be consistent. I have to be serious. So what I could give was an hour a day. I stuck to that every single day, and I finished.
Wow, wow, wow. So again, it's about knowing who you are. So that comes down to self-awareness. So you know you are a morning person. And so that is the time that you can get like that 1 hour where you can really focus on your work. And during the day you have to go to work. And that time you give to your employer. Then in the evening when you come home you have to pay attention to the little girl that is crying and needs your attention, your husband who needs your attention because you are a wife and you're a mother, and then you also have to pay attention to the baby that is on the way.
Yes. Yes. And I also have to I think I also had to pause on stuff I wanted to do, because in my mind I have so many things I want to do. I'd done my blog before, but taking a break when I became my mother. I took a break, right? So I was like, I need to come back to my blog. I need to do this. I want to start this business. And I had to tell myself, Vanessa, no, right now you can't do all of those things. You cannot have all of those things on your plate. So those things have to take a step back.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's gone forever.
Forever.
It just means at this point in this time, you cannot act on it. Let's focus on that one thing. So I put everything else on hold. I wanted to relaunch my blog, all of those things. I put it all on hold. I said, let's focus on this. When I'm done with that, then I'll have more time and room to add the other things on my plate. So basically, as I was going through my own buffet of life, I was picking and choosing what could be on my plate at a time.
At the time.
Right now, that's what could have been on my plate, and that was it. And I had to be okay with it. I felt I was not doing enough because I was like, why can't I do super? You know what? I don't do Superwoman. Let me just do the one I can do. And then with time, I will do the others.
I don't want to be a superwoman.
No. I'm not fighting for that title. I don't want to. No.
So really, nobody can be a superwoman. Like we all try. Wow, and I like the visual like you created. Like I'm going through my own buffet of life, and I choose what I want to be on my plate at the time. Because if you're going for a buffet, you take what you want to eat at the time. And then when you're done, you go for the next one. When you're done, you go for the next one, right? So this is really beautiful. Like I like how you describe it, and that means prioritizing on what really matters at the moment.
Yeah.
Because you have like a bucket list of things that you want to do, but not all of them can get done like at the particular time. So at that moment it was the baby that was coming, it was your thesis, was this. So let me take care of this, and then later I'll go back to my blog. So let's navigate to your blog. Can you tell us a little bit about your blog? Did you go back to relaunching your blog after the baby came?
A good question. No.
What happened?
So, let's just say it's not on my plate yet, but I will. So I haven't relaunched it yet because I've had a little technical issues.
Okay.
But I am working on it, and I know that I will do it, right?
Okay.
So I've started writing, putting my website and all of that together. So let's say I'm doing the background work, and hopefully sometime this year I will launch it.
Okay.
Right. So my blog generally is about sharing my experiences as someone who lives with sickle cell anemia, and what that has looked like for me as an individual, as a parent, the interactions I've had with healthcare, even living in another country, what that has looked like. And I also want to share information about what the condition is about, and also share the stories of others. So basically it's a blog about me and others, and education and advocacy, really.
Education and advocacy about sickle cell anemia. And yeah, to me you are a super mom, because it's like you've gone through like all the like challenging things in life. Like going for a PhD is not a joke. Even going for two master's degrees is not a joke. And then going further to a PhD, and then having like 2 kids, and then being a wife, and then having to go through sickle cell anemia, and then having success in all of these areas. Like you are like the dairy mom.
Thank you. We're trying. Honestly, it's God that's holding us together.
Right. So what
Doing
would
our
you
best.
what would you say that your perception or your definition of success has changed or has evolved since becoming a mother?
Not necessarily. I think growing up, I've always envisioned how I would like my life to be, and even what kind of mother I want to be.
Okay.
Right. So it has always, the vision has looked the same. It's just tweaked a little. And all of it is based on who I want to be, not the definition of what the world thinks success should be, and all of those kind of things. I'm going according to my pace. I am on my own journey. The things that bring me peace and joy and happiness, those are the things that define success for me. So the things that I want to do are the things. So it hasn't changed. It's the same. It looks bigger now
Yeah.
because now I have other people in my life that add to my success story.
Okay.
So there's just been a few tweaks, and I know that will continue to change as I continue to grow. I am relatively young, very early in my career as well,
Yeah.
so that will tweak. But then I will say that I've always had a vision of the kind of mother I want to be, or the kind of woman that I want to be. It hasn't completely changed. It's evolved, but
Okay.
then that has kind of shaped what success has been for me, or how I define success as I go.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is beautiful. So as we bring our interesting conversation to an end, what would you say that you want other moms out there to learn, from your story? Like you are that mom that is able to juggle so many things at the same time, but you pick and choose what matters most for you at the time. If someone is out there watching us or listening, and they probably want to pursue a second degree or a third degree, or or even a first degree, and they're thinking this is going to be difficult, I can't do it. What would you say to them? What would be your advice to them?
I will say first, will it be difficult? Yes. Let's be realistic about it. It will be difficult. But then nothing in life is really easy, right? Like
Right.
everything we go through some hardships because some of it is uncomfortable, it's new. So yes, there will be some difficulties. But I would want them to also know that I've always questioned, why can't we have it all? It's a question I've asked a lot of women, like, why can't I have it all? Why can't I have like the amazing career?
Yeah.
Can't I have the amazing family and children? Why can't I have it all? But then again, it comes back to your definition of all. What does all look like for you? I think we can pursue our alls if we're intentional and also find a good support system. Like
Exactly.
all the things that you're saying that I don't think I think most of it has been my work that I've done. But I'm grateful not to say that I've had good support systems. Like my family has been amazing. My partner, my number one rock, like he's been amazing. Like sometimes people ask me, like when I was going back to work after my second child, people were like, "Oh, who's going to take care of the child?" I'm like, "Their daddy." Like it is normal. Like in our household, both women and men in our household, we're all moving together. So that has been amazing for me to be able to say, look, I need to finish my PhD this time. He's like, this first question is like, what do you need from me to be able to get that done? Right?
Oh.
So I was like, I need this, and that, and I need you to do this, and that. He's like, I got you. Let's go. Right? So find a good support system that helps you. My family, my parents, my sibling, my in-laws, they've all been great. So find a support system that you trust, that you can wholeheartedly lean on. And then don't be afraid to don't be afraid to just go for it and pursue it. Don't let anybody tell you that as a woman you can't do this, as a mother you can't
You
do that.
can
Why
do
can't you?
this. Why
You
can't
can
you?
do
You
it.
can't. You
One, if
can't.
it's your all and this is what you want, I think we should pursue the life that we want instead of having life just happen to us. So be intentional
Right.
about it and have it all. Put the measures in place, be strategic, plan, and you get what you want.
Wow. And I want to pick on the part that you mentioned that you clearly communicated what you needed from your partner. Like, this is what I want. I'm going to pursue my PhD. this is what, and then he asked, what do you need from me? I got you. I think it's very important because especially from our culture. I mean, you and I are from the same country. It's like we are raised to think, oh, like if you are the mother, you have to do it all when it comes to the children, and so a lot of the times we don't even get to speak up, or we don't get to ask for support from our partners. The men will just leave and go, and then they just do their own thing. And it's like
in my household is different. And I think it's important that we are intentional about it, because then what are you also teaching your children?
Exactly.
Like, those are the things I also think about, like what examples am I setting for my children?
My
So
children.
I'm excited when my child comes to me and says, "Mommy, I'm hungry." But I know that sometimes she doesn't even need to come to me, because she just goes to her daddy, "I'm hungry."
And then the
And
daddy
it's
takes
not
care
like
of it.
and daddy will take care of it, right? So I'm also thinking about when I'm pursuing my goals and I'm doing my stuff and I'm taking care of myself, like with and taking care of yourself is not just even academic, my own self-care routine. When I'm doing all of those things, I'm doing it because I also wanted to see. I also want my kids to see. And I want to be an example to them that when they also are growing up, these are some of the things, these are some of the standards I'm setting for them.
Yeah.
Right. So that they realize that there's more to life than, okay, being just a woman. Like, I'm always like, if anybody tells that my daughter can't do this because she's a girl, I'm ready to fight you. And I also work with diversity and inclusion. So you should know that I'm ready to like go straight in those things, like why? Right. So I guess I want her to understand, or my children in general, one boy, one girl, understand that you are limitless.
Right.
Anything you want to do, you can do.
You
Once
can
God
do
is with
it.
you, you can do it. But then who you are, like your gender, shouldn't hold you
You
back.
shouldn't
Or
hold
you
on.
becoming a mother. I want to be very careful what I say. It's like, and sometimes it's okay if you take a pause and realize that I want to pursue motherhood full time and want to do this differently. There's nothing wrong with it. That's why I always say, what does that all look like for
For
you?
you as an
For
individual.
you as an individual, like not the standards of what everybody wants to say. And if all is like, I say to myself, like, I'm ready. Like, if I'm ready to take 2 years off of my career, I don't mind, right?
Right.
But that's what it looks like for me. So be intentional about what you want for yourself and pursue that relentlessly.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Right. Be intentional. Be
Yeah.
intentional, and being intentional can mean, okay, putting this on hold for now, and then focusing on this, and then whilst this picks itself up, then I can go back to this, right? But
Yeah.
it's not about letting go of your
Mm-mm.
ambitions because, oh, motherhood is too tired, or I'm tired, or maybe like that. Yeah. And I also like the fact that you know that as a mother, you're modeling whatever lifestyle you're living
Exactly.
for your children, because especially having a girl, she also will probably one day grow up and say, my mother did this, I watched my mother do this, and my gender is not going to stop me from becoming this or that. This is so powerful. Like, I have learned so many things from your story, like from setting clear goals, being intentional about what you want, communicating that to your partner or to your family, because you
Mhm.
need all the support. And I keep saying this, that you can be the daring mom if you don't have support, and
Yes.
support can come from even your job, like
Yes.
telling your employer, this is what
Mhm.
works for me because I have a
Mhm.
child. And so ABCD, right? Support can come from your extended family, brother, mother, like all of them. Support can come from your partner. And I'm very happy, like, you have a very supportive partner, because through the Diary Mom podcast, we also want to encourage, the dads, that hey, we need you.
We do. Like, it makes a whole
It
lot of
makes a
difference.
whole lot of difference. We
We
need you,
do.
we need
Like, well, like when I had my second child, my mother wasn't here, right?
yeah.
So normally I was missing her. Mommy would take care of me, but it was just my partner and my
And you,
brother.
yeah.
Those two men are the men who held me and took care of my household
And
and did
everything.
everything for me. It wasn't any other woman. It was the two
It
men in
was
my
the two
life
men.
who did it for me, and they took care of me. And they still take care of me till today. So, like, I think we should break some of these stereotypes that we have and challenge ourselves to go beyond the norm and question the things that, like, within our culture we've been, like, taught. It doesn't mean
Right.
it's all bad. Like, at the end of the day, do what works for you. Basically, if this is what works for you, do it.
Do
Me,
it.
I'm doing what that works for me. So we're doing.
Exactly. Dr. Vanessa, thank you so much for coming to
Thank
the Dairy Mom
you.
podcast. I know someone out there is inspired by your story. There's so many
I hope
things to
so.
learn from yours. I have learned a lot. Like, I have made so many notes. Where can we find you if anybody wants to connect with you? Where do you have any social media handles? I know you said your blog is launching soon or relaunching soon.
Give me grace. Soon it's coming. But my Instagram is really, my blog one is Vanessa O. Morgan.
Okay.
But then you can also find me at vanessa.obuo, O-B-U-O.
Okay.
That's also my my Instagram.
Okay. So we'll reach out to you, and I'm sure many people will get in touch with you, especially those who want to pursue PhDs and double masters and become mothers.
I'm happy to answer questions, be a resource, whatever it is I can do
To support, exactly.
I will do my best.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you too. Thank you for having me. This has been wonderful.
Thank you. There you have it. We had an interesting conversation today with Dr. Vanessa Morgan. I hope you learned something. The key learning points from her story were: you can have it all according to what all looks like for you as an individual. She also mentioned that to become the dairy mom, you have to be strategic, you have to be proactive, you have to be self-aware, you have to learn to plan ahead. You need to learn to ask for help and then to also know how you can negotiate. These were the key learnings that I learned from Dr. Vanessa's story, and I hope you learned something for yourself also. If you want to find Dr. Vanessa, you can visit her social media page at Vanessa O. Morgan on Instagram. This is her blog dedicated to talking about sickle cell anemia and all the educational resources that she looks to share with people out there who might be in the same situation as she finds herself. If you also want to reach out to her in terms of finding resources, she's a very good resource for academia. As I read her bio, she has 2 master's degrees and a PhD, and she's very fluent in French and English language. So if you really need to get any resource on academia, or if you are applying to schools in the US and you want to know what to do, how to go about things, she's a very good resource. She's also a good resource for anything that has got to do with sickle cell anemia, all the resources that are out there, the medical institutions that can help you, all the health information you need. She can be a good resource for that. And then she's also very passionate about diversity and inclusion. And so if you're navigating conversations about D&I or diversity and inclusion in North America, that is in Canada or in the United States, and you need help, or even back home in West Africa where she comes from, you can reach out to her and then she'll be a very great resource for you. As I wrap up, I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, tell a friend about the Dairy Mom podcast. If you haven't followed us yet, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram. On Instagram, we are I am_ the Dairy Mom. On Facebook, we are there, the Dairy Mom. On LinkedIn, the Dairy Mom. And on YouTube, the Dairy Mom. You'll find more information about Dr. Vanessa in the description of this video. I want to say thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope that as we prepare to bring you the next episode, you will be able to learn something and become the Dairy Mom. One question I like to end my videos with is, what is your hashtag? The Dairy Mom story. Join me and let's do this together. My name is Addae, and I am the Dairy Mom.